Street ka? Ha?
Nakita na kami.
Ha?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July.
At 46, most boxers are retired and far from the ring. But Manny Pacquiao isn't most boxers. Instead of staying quiet or working behind a microphone, he's lacing up his gloves for a major comeback fight against rising star Mario Barrios. Critics say he's too old, but Pacquiao's intense training and sharp moves suggest otherwise. He's not just fighting for a win. He's fighting to prove that greatness doesn't fade with age and that he's still a force boxing can't ignore. Eddie Hearn says that even at his age, Manny Pacquiao still has enough skill to beat most welterweights outside the top 15 or 20. He admits Pacquiao isn't what he used to be, mainly because of age and time away from the ring, but believes Pacquiao's experience and smarts still make him dangerous. Hearn also thinks a comeback makes business sense, especially against someone like Mario Barrios, a solid fighter, but not at the elite level of guys like Terrence Crawford or Jaron Boots Ennis. Still, Hearn warns that being out of the ring for so long could hurt Pacquiao's chances, and any return needs to be handled carefully.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people are still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Manny Pacquiao last fought in August 2021, losing by unanimous decision to Eugenio Ugas. Since then, he's stayed out of the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn has pointed out that long breaks can seriously affect older fighters. And at 46, Pacquiao faces tough odds. Getting back into top shape and competing with younger, active opponents is no small task. Still, Pacquiao's deep experience and fight IQ could make him a real threat in the welterweight division. His comeback against Mario Barrios will be a major test to see if he still belongs at this level. Manny Pacquiao's upcoming fight against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in July 2025 shows he's still chasing greatness, even at 46. But questions remain about whether his body can handle the brutal demands of pro boxing after years away from the sport. Back in September 2021, Pacquiao retired to focus on politics and even ran for president of the Philippines in 2022. After losing to Eugenio Ugas by unanimous decision, he admitted the sport was taking a toll on him, pointing to leg cramps as proof his body was slowing down. Still, his passion for boxing clearly hasn't faded. In retiring, Manny Pacquiao said he needed to focus on his health and political goals. He thanked boxing for changing his life, lifting him out of poverty, and giving him the chance to inspire others. It is difficult for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over. Today, I am announcing my retirement, he said. His decision ended a legendary 26-year career that made him the only fighter in history to win world titles in 8 weight classes.
2015, remember that one. Pacquiao is now planning to run for president in his native Philippines this upcoming May. But Shannon, how will you remember Manny as a boxer?
Historically great fighter.
Good for you.
The only fighter to win 8 world titles. I mean, he started out boxing, he was 106 pounds, won a title at, I think, 112, and went all the way up to
108 first.
Went all the way up to 154.
It's impossible. It's just...
I don't believe, I feel very comfortable and said I don't believe we'll ever see that again, Skip.
We'll never see it again.
And it wasn't like he was fighting bums. When you go back and look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and Oscar Larios and De La Hoya and Hatton and Cotto, Margarita, Mosley, Timothy Bradley, Mayweather. Skip. I mean, what do you got to say? He was a champion in 4 different decades.
Yep.
Fighter of the year. First ballot Hall of Fame. He's great. He fought everybody.
Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement in a short video, showing great respect for his legendary career. He praised Pacquiao's incredible accomplishments, especially being an 8-division world champion, and his lasting impact on boxing. Smith also pointed out that Pacquiao inspired fans around the world not just with his skills in the ring, but with the way he carried himself outside of it. Manny Pacquiao is preparing for a surprising return to professional boxing at age 46, set to face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July 2025. This will be his first fight since losing to Dennis Ugas in 2021. Even after a 4-year break, Pacquiao hopes to add another title to his legendary career, which already includes championships in 8 weight classes. The bout is scheduled for July 19th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, though it depends on the results of his Senate re-election campaign in the Philippines on May 12th. Barrios, who is 29, will be a tough test for the aging icon. Mario Barrios holds a professional record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 18 of those wins coming by knockout. He became the WBC interim welterweight champion after beating Dennis Ugas in September 2023 and was promoted to full champion in June 2024 when Terrence Crawford moved up to the 154-pound division. Barrios defended his title in a split draw against Abel Ramos in November 2024. Manny Pacquiao's return has sparked mixed reactions. Some fans are thrilled to see the legend back, while others worry he may no longer be able to compete at the highest level after a long layoff. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, however, defended the decision to sanction the fight. Pacquiao's right to challenge for a title is backed by the WBC's rules, which allow notable former champions to request title fights when returning from retirement. But the fight against Barrios isn't just about the title. It's about Pacquiao's lasting legacy in boxing. Known for his relentless style and ability to overcome obstacles, Pacquiao's return is a testament to his love for the sport. Despite juggling his political career, if he wins, he would become the oldest welterweight champion in boxing history, further solidifying his place as one of the greatest fighters of all time.
In a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. Date yet to be confirmed, venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and you know, it was so out of left field. You know, Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very, very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas, and in that fight 4 years ago, as I say.
As Pacquiao sets his sights on this historic comeback, the boxing world waits to see if the legend can defy the odds once again. Whether he wins or loses, his journey will undoubtedly add another unforgettable chapter to his legacy. Don't miss any of the action. Hit subscribe to stay updated on all things Pacquiao and the exciting world of boxing.